Hey everyone, and welcome back to Newegg TV. My name is Paul. Today we have a very special guest here in the studios. This is Jason. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Jason is from WD, a Western digital company, and Jason has brought a selection of RED drives to share with us. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with RED drives, these are mechanical hard drives designed by Western Digital specifically for use in NAS applications. That's kind of the short version. We're going to get a lot more in depth. But you might notice that we have got a couple different versions here. We got a 2.5-inch model, first to market with that from Western Digital. We've also got the 3.5-inch version. This video is going to be focusing on the 3.5-inch version, but if you guys are interested in the 2.5-inch, we'll have another video on that as well. So that's a quick introduction. Jason, let's talk a little bit about sort of the whole slew of products that Western Digital has right now. Apart from RED, what other ones are available?
So at WD, we offer a full portfolio of hard drives. We have Blue, WD Blue, which is your everyday drive. You have WD Green, which is for archival storage, massive capacity, so really want to store all your photos and videos within your PC.
Okay.
We have WD Black, which is our performance line, 7200 RPM drive, and that is available also up to 4 terabyte. And then we recently came out with, about a year ago, WD Red, but we've recently expanded into the 2.5-inch solution. So
where did the impetus for creating the RED drives come from? This was sort of a solution to a problem that WD saw kind of coming along as people sort of change the way that they store their data, particularly if you're talking about at-home use, and particularly if you're talking about not just storing data in, say, your desktop computer, but storing it in a network-attached storage or a centralized server, something like that.
So what we did is we noticed a pretty big problem out in the online community of consumers trying to use desktop drives within the NAS space, and it really just isn't optimized for the NAS environment. And so we dove deep into forums and gathered all this feedback, and we developed a product that was specific for the NAS application, and that would be the introduction of WD Red.
So what are some of the problems that come along with a NAS environment, say, as compared to a desktop?
A lot of desktop drives aren't specifically built for a RAID environment,
okay.
And so WD Red comes with NASWare 2.0 with RAID optimization, so it is fully RAID supported, so that if a drive happens to come out of RAID, it will go back and fix itself, and
okay.
it constantly monitors the entire system and takes care of any kind of data mishaps.
Very nice. So whereas you can basically take any drive and toss into a RAID configuration, having a drive that's specifically suited for that is going to prevent problems down the road. And then also when you talk about lifespan, longevity of the drive, when you have a drive that's in RAID configuration, or specifically when you're talking about a NAS, a network attached storage, or even a server environment, those drives are on constantly, like 24/7, whereas a drive in a desktop, you're only going to be accessing maybe for an hour or two a day, depending on your computer usage, of course.
Correct.
All right, so NASWare 2.0, this is something that, the term makes sense to me, but how is this actually implemented? Is this a software thing? Is it a hardware thing? Is it sort of a combination of both?
So NASWare 2.0 is the next generation NAS experience. That's what we're calling it. It is an enhanced version of firmware and hardware changes within the drive, and it's optimized for performance, reliability, as well as power loss prevention.
Okay.
And so there's technology inside the drive that if anything happens to the power current within the NAS enclosure, the drive will actually protect itself against any kind of data loss that can occur.
Okay, and you bring up another key aspect when it comes to having always-on storage. You have the convenience factor of, say, you set up a NAS at home, you can access it, on the go. If you have internet access, a lot of NASs have that functionality where you can sort of connect remotely, access that data. But at the same time, you're talking about having a system essentially that's on 24/7. Especially if you're talking about being a home user, that can lead to higher electricity and power costs. Is that another feature of these drives that you guys have implemented to make sure that kind of keeps the power usage down?
Yeah, so we do have reduced power consumption. That is a major important factor of a NAS environment is heat. And heat can affect your reliability, your performance, and the overall lifespan of the drive over time. And so RED is optimized specifically for lower power consumption, which in return within the NAS environment helps reduce your heat, increases your reliability, and also prevents the fans from coming on more frequently. So there's less noise involved, there's less heat that's generated, so overall it's better optimized for a NAS environment.
So it's really solving several problems just by reducing that power consumption.
Correct.
That's another aspect that people might not consider. You do have fans inside systems like this, and if it is anywhere that might be audible, having that fan spin up all the time as the drives are being accessed, that's an excellent feature to keep everything in line. So Jason, obviously you guys have been working on these drives very diligently to integrate a lot of the features as well as support. Let's talk about support actually. These drives are covered by WD for how long?
We have 24/7 support for a 3-year limited warranty.
All right.
So it's longer than most desktop drive warranties. And our RMA process is pretty diligent, and so we take care of our customers and we make sure that we get the drives to them as quickly as possible.
That is one thing I did want to bring up. I've been using WD drives for quite some time. You guys, bar none, have like my favorite manufacturer Rma Service on the internet. I've used it a few times, not a lot because the drives I've used have been very, very reliable for me, but really quick, really easy. A few different options for you guys, whether you need to drive fast or whether you're going to ship it back in and get a replacement. So great work. But let's jump back to features. Now we talked about NASWare 2.0. Let's go back to the fact that these drives are being used in environments where they're on 24/7. Apart from power consumption, what about noise? Is there anything as far as noise or vibration that you guys have integrated into these drives?
So we also have a technology called 3D Active Balance Plus, and that helps reduce the vibration within the drive. So when you have multiple drives in a 1 to 5 bay configuration, there's sometimes a lot of vibration and acoustics that can bounce off of one another, not only within the case, but then from the drives. So the drives have the technology inside them to help reduce that vibration, which again increases your reliability and your performance over time.
Excellent. And then another question for you about use case scenarios. I'm imagining these drives are geared towards consumer use, maybe SMB. There's a certain level that it goes up to before you guys have your enterprise drives that you'd probably recommend more so to people who are doing much larger implementations or looking for huge server storage. What types of configurations are recommended for these 3.5-inch RED drives?
So WD RED in the desktop version is recommended for the 1 to 5 bay configuration.
Okay.
Outside of that, when you start to get 6 and above, we recommend our WD SE product, which has a little bit more enterprise features added to it. But outside of that, RED is really optimized for the small SMB and small SOHO environment.
Excellent. Okay, and of course we got a couple NASs right here. We're not really focusing on these so much, but just an example. These are from Synology that we're looking at right here. You guys work with a lot of different NAS vendors. Like, how many different options are there out there for folks to choose from?
So RED is specific to NAS, and we do a lot of internal testing to make sure that everything is compatible. And so currently we're compatible with over 18 different manufacturers and obviously loads of models underneath that. So we have the largest compatibility list to date compared to our competition. So we work very diligent with our partners to make sure that the drive is optimized for their specific environment so our consumers, our customers, don't have any issues down the road.
Very nice. So if you're not comfortable buying a blank NAS with no drives and popping these in, you can easily find NAS out there. Of course, we'll put links down in the description so you can check out Newegg.com if you're interested in those. And those might come pre-populated with WD RED drives, which are obviously optimized for that environment. So now, Jason, we've been mostly talking about the 3.5-inch drives right now, but I did want to quickly point out the 2.5-inch drives. Very excited you guys have come out with those as well. We've also got another matching little NAS box right there, also from Synology. So what was the reasoning behind also introducing the different form factors?
So we wanted to expand our portfolio and really offer what we're calling the full NAS portfolio. And that's because in our 3.5-inch product, we offer 1 to 4 terabyte, and then in 2.5, we offer 750 gigabytes and 1 terabyte offering. Okay. So really, the 2.5-inch RED is to expand the space and enable different form factors, smaller form factors, so that if you're in a small office environment and you don't need something as crazy and large as the 1 to 5 bay, and you need something that's smaller between you and a couple of users, we enabled that space so that you can easily back up your computer or share small documents, whatever it may be, within that particular environment.
So it enables you to get a much smaller footprint, particularly with something like this, and also have plenty of storage as well as redundancy, data backup, of course, always very important. So here's another Synology drive. Again, we're going to have another video dedicated to the 2.5-inch drives, but it's hard to skip over this sort of thing. Some excellent NAS boxes from Synology right here.
Yeah.
All right. Now we also wanted to talk about some benchmarks here because performance always important when it comes to storage. So I got some slides. Let's take a close look. All right. So first off, if you guys want to tweet about this video, you should use hashtag Redvolution. That's very important. But all right. First off, power consumption. That was a big element that we talked about here. We're looking at WD, which is the red line, obviously. And then we have competitor A, who will not be named. But we're looking at power consumption under a few different states. So we have sleep, standby, idle 3, as well as read-write. And we can see less power used.
So yeah, the shorter the bar, the lower the bar, the better the performance.
Excellent.
Power
so
consumption.
that's just a quick little comparison, again, side by side. So, and then you can imagine this would kind of be multiplicative if you were using multiple drives in a RAID configuration. So there you go, less power used. And then we also have some benchmarks. So can you walk us through these, Jason?
So these are PC Mark Vantage scores, and so on the left, this is with a 3.5-inch desktop NAS HDD.
Okay.
And so compared to our competition, we're 11% better in PC Mark Vantage.
Very nice.
And then in PC Mark 07, we're 22% better than the competition. PC Mark Vantage is interesting just because that's a desktop scoring system, and really to test the drives internally within the NAS environment, you need to take it a step beyond, and that's where we've introduced what's called NAS PT testing. And so that's a set of benchmarking scores that are done specifically within a NAS environment, not within a desktop PC. And those scores, it's a full gamut of 30 different types of tests, but within that, these two examples here are direct actions occurring within that NAS box. So when we're file copying to the NAS in terms of megabytes per second, we're 67% better than the competition.
That's a pretty huge margin.
Yeah, and we're pretty proud of the scores ourselves. Nice. In HD video playback, and again in terms of megabytes per second, we're 21% faster. So when you're looking at your NAS environment being something that you're streaming video, you're accessing data within it, you're going to want greater performance, and being able to play back video 21% faster than the competition, I'd say that's pretty good gig.
So over here in the middle, you're looking at basically any time you've got, say you've just gotten back from vacation, you have a bunch of photos, you're copying them all to NAS, it's going to go that much faster. Or of course more enterprise level or business solutions other than copying photos. These are obviously kind of hit a market segment that can cover anything from your small business to just basic at-home use. And then of course HD video playback, hugely popular for people to do with network attached storage in their homes these days. Use it as a media archive, drop all of your videos, all your movies on there, and having increased performance there is going to mean if somebody's streaming video from one place and then you're accessing it from the other, you're not going to see any lag, any slowdown, or particularly any choppiness when you're watching the video, because you never want to have any of that.
Totally agree.
Excellent.
And one thing that we've noticed too with our customers is you spend a lot of time with your NAS environment, and hopefully you go out and you get a top NAS vendor and you put WD Red inside of it. But the next thing that we want to help educate the market with is really paying attention to your network configuration at home. So that's also looking into the type of router that you have. If you have an older router that's not the most compliant, with the network speeds that are out there, like an AN speed, then you want to make sure that you upgrade the other technology inside your home so that you're getting that full channel of being able to shove 67% of performance down the pipeline and get it to your end device quicker.
Yeah, WD should make routers. I think that would be a great.
We do offer some routers. So
WD does make routers. In fact, you guys might be able to see a video on WD routers on our Newegg TV YouTube channel. Just go ahead and search. You can find that there as well. Fantastic routers. We're actually using a couple of them in our office right now. So they do a great job. Nice. But I think that does it for our slides. Yes, that is our last slide. That's the WD Red logo. In case you guys are interested, you can go spray paint. No, don't spray paint that.
You can use our sticker.
Use a sticker, sure. Spread it around the web. Very exciting. All right, let me just minimize that. And I think that just about does it. Jason, any closing words for the WD Red 3.5-inch drives?
Well, we're very proud of our WD Red product in the 3.5 and 2.5-inch space. We come with NASware 2.0. It's that next generation NAS experience, and we want everybody to really focus on Red, feel the energy of Red, and do what we're calling joining the Redvolution.
Redvolution. Hashtag Redvolution.
Hashtag Redvolution.
So we'll get that trending, I'm positive. And then my closing thoughts here, just if you guys have network attached storage at home and you've repurposed old drives for it, because I know that's a very common thing to do, and you're not using NAS specific drives, pay attention to that, because there's really elements to these drives that can really solve problems in the future. And a drive failure in a NAS, even if you are in a RAID configuration with redundancy, you can still have failures, particularly if you're using drives that aren't set up for that. So a very useful product, and I imagine tons of people are going to be excited for this. Again, we've been talking with Jason here about the WD Red series of NAS-specific hard drives. Jason, thank you very much for talking to us today.
Thank you.
And thanks to all you guys for watching. If you're interested in more videos, of course, you can find them on our Newegg TV YouTube channel. Relevant links should be down in the description below. You can also click the like button if you found this video enjoyable or useful. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.